I don't recommend Lingoda. I don't recommend Preply either. Listen to me carefully. Paying for speaking is like paying for sex. And how do I know that? Well, it's on the cover of my book, Virtually Native. Here, remember that. Remember that next time you think about paying for speaking. Pay to speak. People who pay money to speak are either delusional or lonely. Remember that too. That's also in my book. I don't recommend either of these two platforms, schools, or whatever they call themselves. Lingoda calls itself a traditional school that has moved online. It offers both one-on-one and group lessons. Launched by two Germans in 2012 and incorporated in 2013, says here. But their LinkedIn page says 2014. Well, go figure. Lingoda has raised over 68 million US dollars in their last round of funding, bringing the grand total to 83 million US dollars. Which reminds me that people who pay for speaking are either delusional or lonely. Which would make people who invest in such services, such companies, what? $83 million. Preply, some people call it Preply, don't know why. I think it's Preply, from prepare, as it says here. Preply is a hybrid between Lingoda and Italki, a marketplace just like Italki for people to set their own prices and schedules and get paid to teach one-on-one lessons, a carbon copy of Italki, as well as a traditional school that has moved online for group lessons, a carbon copy of Lingoda. Preply was established in 2012. Oh, so maybe Lingoda copies Preply. Established by 3 Ukrainians, which is why they have this banner at the top saying, Preply stands with Ukraine and its people. I too stand with Ukraine and its people. 100%. But not with Preply. Preply has raised a little shy of 50 million US dollars in their last round of funding, bringing the grand total to a whopping $100 million, which is still nothing compared to Duolingo's market cap of $4 billion. Which reminds me that paying for speaking is like paying for sex. People paying for Duolingo is like Eskimos paying for snow. $4 billion selling snow to Eskimos. Back to Lingoda and Preply. In case you've forgotten, I recommend neither of these two platforms. I had 3 lessons with Lingoda and 1 with Preply. And since Preply is a carbon copy of Lingoda, I can say with absolute certainty that you shouldn't waste your time or money on either of these two. I say that Preply is a copy of Lingoda, but that's only because I had lessons with Lingoda first, so I might be wrong. It could be that Lingoda is ripping off Preply. But the truth of the matter is that they are identical when it comes to their group offerings, in terms of lesson structure, design, and everything else. They both use Zoom to conduct their lessons. Lingoda's group lessons are 1 hour long, Preply's are 55 minutes long. Lingoda wastes your time and money in 4 languages: English, French, German, Spanish, and this nonsense called Business English. Whereas Preply wastes your time and money only in English. They say they will add more ways to waste your time and money, but not yet. More like never. Lingoda offers more classes per day, about 6-7 on average, whereas Preply more like 2-3 at the most. At least that was my experience. Lingoda seems much more established, I guess because all that money they spent
What if I
on
told you
YouTube
that in 3 months
influencers.
you could become fluent? Now I'm going to have a quick chat to you about the Lingoda Language Marathon. Really recommend you stay on.
Which reminds me that people who pay for speaking are either delusional or lonely. Which makes people who promote such services what? Let me know in the comment section below.
I want to thank our friends Lingoda who've partnered with us to bring you today's lesson.
As I said 4 times already, with regards to their group lessons, Lingoda and Preply are the exact same thing. Where they differ though is in their prices.
4 classes a month at Lingoda will set you back $59 or $15 a class. Same thing over at Preply is $7.50 a lesson or $30 a month.
Half of Lingoda.
12 group lessons at Preply are $78 a month or $6.50 each, whereas at Lingoda will cost you $12 a class or $150 a month.
About double.
20 classes a month are $209 or $10 a pop at Lingoda. Meanwhile, at Preply, the same thing will run you $110 a month or $5.50 a pop.
About half.
Now, it's fair to say that Lingoda classes are 5 minutes longer, which at, say, 20 lessons a month works out to an additional 1 hour and 40 minutes of
time wasted. So again, Preply is about half the price of Lingoda for the exact same thing, minus 5 minutes. Which reminds me that paying for speaking is like paying for sex. Please remember that. How about the curriculum? There is no difference between Lingoda and Preply in terms of curriculum. It's the exact same nonsense, creating lessons out of fake situations, an absolute madness. What about their teachers? Preply calls them tutors, Lingoda calls them
native teachers.
I call them native speakers. You see, the role of the language teacher, or any teacher for that matter, is to teach the student how to become an independent learner, how to learn alone without a teacher. As the old proverb goes, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Nobody's teaching you how to fish at Lingoda and Preply, or any other school for that matter. So it's all about teachers as entertainers, or babysitters, glorified babysitters. Don't get me wrong, they are all lovely, nice people, good speakers of their native language, good human dictionaries too, but not teachers. Which reminds me that paying for speaking is like paying for sex. So there you have it. I don't recommend Lingoda. I don't recommend Preply or any other language school for that matter. The only thing I recommend with a clear conscience is my book, Virtually Native, which will teach you how to learn alone, without a teacher, without language schools, without Lingoda, Preply, italki, and all the rest. Virtually Native is available on Amazon and virtuallynative.com. You have one life. Don't waste it.